Okay. We are back with more Lana Del Rey. This time we're watching a video called "The Authenticity of Lana Del Rey." Um, I wanted to watch this, but I thought, because I saw it on my feed for a while, but I thought, I'm sure some of y'all would want to see me check this out, so I'm checking it out for YouTube. Uh, I saw some people also say to check out some of her interviews. I'd be down, but I don't know. Point me in the direction of a good interview, because I already watched one and it was pretty cool. I forget what it was called, but she was like sitting down at a bar with a guy, and I think she was wearing like a Nike. It was really fresh. It was a fresh fit. It was like a Nike like jacket or something. It was really fresh. I think there was black and white as well, if I remember correctly. But that one was pretty cool. But yeah, no, point me in the direction of a good interview, man. I'll check it out, man. But for now, yeah, let's check this out.
For many, video games was the first they had ever heard of Lana Del Rey.
This is gonna spoil some songs for me, but it's fine. It's fine. He's gonna just do snippets because he doesn't want to get his video demonetized. I can tell you that right now.
The single
I love
was
video
accompanied
games,
by
so
a
good.
self-made music video featuring archive footage spliced between clips of this promising new star. And then Blue Jeans arrived. The nostalgic aesthetic, the wistful vocals, the captivating pouty persona. It was a remarkable one-two punch from an unknown singer that made it difficult to not pay attention. Nearly overnight, Lana Del Rey became an internet phenomenon. Today, she's a Grammy Award-nominated, multi-platinum selling singer, songwriter, poet, model, and video director. Her album, Born to Die, has spent over 300 weeks on the Billboard 200, making her...
When did this come out? 3 years ago. I don't know what the album dates are. I know Blue Bannisters is the newest one, right? So he's not going to talk about that one yet.
One of only 3 women to do so. Selling more than 7 million copies, its tracks have collectively been streamed over 1.5 billion times on Spotify.
Of course.
In the 6 months leading up to its release,
just Spotify.
Lana Del Rey had gone from a complete unknown to an international darling. To many, she was this indie queen who had somehow made it. But before she even released her major label debut, she became one of the most controversial figures to emerge in popular culture. As the public learned more about her, only more questions and criticisms followed. From her voice to her true identity, what were we to believe? Was Lana Del Rey an actual musical talent? Or a manufactured sensation?
Conspiracy? Wait, what? Part 1.
On June 29th, 2011, the video game's music video was uploaded to YouTube. The next day, it got taken down for including copyrighted footage, but the single started making rounds over radio and online music blogs. Lana Del Rey was somewhat of an anomaly. There's not much else like her. She occupies her own unique space in the pop spectrum. Given the musical climate of the time, Lana Del Rey challenged the pop status quo, labeling her as an alternative or indie artist.
I definitely can agree to that, even though I wasn't around for those times. Like I said, when I reacted to Blue Jeans, I recognized that song once I listened to it. And then right off the bat, I'm like, oh man, I know this song. Because back in high school, I had one of my friends, she loved Lana Del Rey, and she played that song for me. And I thought it was really dope, you know what I mean? And that was, what year? Like 20... It was actually like 2015. No, 15. I'd probably say like 2016. So that's actually still really late. But even at that time, I feel like it was some really cool, like alternative sounding stuff I haven't heard of before. I never checked her out, but no, I can definitely see that making sense.
This led every internet music blog to offer some appreciation for the refreshing indie pop star. By August,
that's
Video
always
Games
nice.
was re-edited and uploaded. Soon after, a video for Blue Jeans arrived. The nostalgic aesthetic, the wistful vocals, the captivating pouty persona. It was a remarkable one-two punch from an unknown singer that made it difficult to not pay attention. But nearly overnight, the world learned of Lizzie Grant.
Part 2 already? What is... That's loud. This is a song I haven't heard yet. I like the guitar a lot. I want to mute it. I don't want to ruin it for me, guys. And people, yeah, I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to ruin it. It sounds really good.
New York in the mid.
Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it.
Born in upstate New York in the mid-'80s, Elizabeth Woolridge Grant came from an upper middle-class family.
Oh my God.
She sang all throughout her life.
How young is she there?
And in her church choir. She lived a fairly normal childhood until she reached her early teens. She began acting out, skipping school, and drinking. As a result, her parents sent her to a boarding school where she felt isolated, befriending only a teacher who introduced her to the musical legends of the past and some polarizing subject matter like Lolita. By the time she graduated, she sobered up and moved to Long Island.
I saw someone say that. I saw someone say that when she got shipped out to a boarding school that she met like a teacher that like groomed her or something. Is this where's that info come from? Because I also saw some people saying, where did you get that? What's the source? So like I wasn't too sure on it, but this video's talking about it, so I'm assuming there is a source, unless this video is the source, but you wouldn't do that unless you had a source.
Polarizing subject matter like Lolita. By the time she graduated, she sobered up and moved to Long Island, spending a year as a waitress. She lived with her aunt and uncle, the latter of which would teach her a few guitar chords, ultimately kickstarting her songwriting career. For fun, she began testing her songs at open mics in Brooklyn, as Lizzie Grant some nights and Sparkle Jump Rope Queen on others. At 19, she enrolled in university for philosophy. In her spare time, she would self-record acoustic tracks under the alias May Jailer. A few years later, she entered a songwriting competition. She didn't win, but an A&R rep from 5 Points Records took an interest in her talents, later offering to sign the young starlet. Lizzie took her signing bonus and moved into a mobile home in New Jersey where she focused her efforts on songwriting and video making. The demo she compiled had producers interested due to its distinct sound. In particular, a producer who's worked with Paul McCartney, The Strokes, and Stevie Nicks, to name a few. David Kane paired with Lizzie to release her debut EP.
Stop! It sounds pretty damn good. It sounds pretty damn good. I don't know if anyone suggested this one, but dude, I don't want to ruin it. I'm sorry, I can't.
Featured as one of iTunes' emerging, which
screw it. It's like 10. It's like 2 seconds.
Emerging artists of the year. Lizzie and Kane spent the year working on a full album, but at some point before its release, Lizzie wanted to change her stage name.
Is this another song?
The album was put on hold until 2010. The digital release of Lana Del Rey marked the beginnings of her musical transformation.
This song sounds amazing. It sounds so fucking good. Stop spoiling it. Stop.
Physical release, and within 3 months, the hopeful pop star pulled the album from iTunes. Lizzie felt nothing was happening, and now under new management, she asked for a separation agreement from her label. The young star and her management wanted a clean slate, removing any trace of the project from the web.
With the internet, dude, you don't need a label. I mean, unless like you have like even if you have like no money, you don't need a label. There's a lot of people that made it from the internet that didn't have a label, like Mac Miller, for example. Obviously, later on, he ended up signing with labels because like the best benefit of being with a label is that they'll fund you. You know what I mean? Like they'll pay for your billboards and shit. They'll help pay for tours and stuff. They fund you for money and stuff. You know what I mean? But with the internet, it's just virality. You can blow up on the internet. You don't need help. And the best thing about it is that you get 100% of the profits. With the record label, you know, they take a chunk of your money, a decent chunk. So there's pros and cons of having a record label, but like nowadays, independent, you know, it's a lot more lucrative, I guess, since the internet's a thing.
Lizzie and her new managers moved to London, where they hoped her sound would be a little more appealing. It was also around this time when she would change her visual aesthetic,
is that in the
started
UK?
Cutting together her own music videos, and met fellow songwriter Justin Parker. Together, the two wrote the song that would launch both of their careers, and on June 29th, 2011, the video game's music video was uploaded to YouTube.
Dude, wait. At the beginning of the video, he previewed, like, he summarized. Don't do that. It spoils the video, man. I'm looking at myself. I don't know why. I'm so goofy looking at myself. Oh my god, that sounds so good. Dude, stop, dude. Oh my fucking god, they sound so good. Why is he doing this, dude? That sounded really nice, like Johnny Cash vibes.
The world learned of Lizzie Grant, her failed album, and discovered photos of her with label executives. The indie scene who had aided in launching her career felt deceived. The indie status of an artist is a large part of their appeal, but with it comes an expectation of being authentic and music that has a more confessional nature to it. And so the internet quickly turned against her, believing that this Lana Del Rey character was fabricated by her management. When she was signed with Interscope Records and Polydor following the release of Blue Jeans, early fans began turning their backs on her, calling her a sellout. But as the public learned more...
Is this what he was talking about with the conspiracy shit, where he was like, there's more beyond the surface, and not beyond the surface. You know what I mean? Like, what did he say at the start? He was like trying to like say like she may not be who you think she is. You know what I mean? Like controversy, but like
about Lana Del Rey, only more questions and criticisms followed. Was Lana Del Rey trying to cover up her past? I don't think she was. The record they had
why would
previously
she?
made wasn't bad. All parties were pretty proud of it after the fact, even re-releasing it after Born to Die debuted. And the tracks found on the album could very well fit onto Born to Die. In fact, one of them did. Yayo was first featured on her 5 Points debut. And paid to kickstart her career.
Wow.
That was a bit of a half-truth. He did help in promoting.
Dude, I hate this. I hate shit like this. He have paid. Wait, what did he say?
Start her career.
It's a rumor, and even if it was true, who fucking cares? That's a parent supporting their child. You know what I mean? And even if it's like you got rich parents, well, you know what? You just got lucky. You spawned in a good location, and you spawned in a fortunate place where your parents are rich. You know what? That's fine. That's perfectly fine. An industry plant. Seriously, dude, and you know what an industry plant is, dude? The amount of people that throw around that term is ridiculous. It's like an industry plant is someone that actually has a position in the music industry that can, plug your shit for free. You already have that connection. But even then, again, the industry plant is just like some kind of coping mechanism for people that don't like an artist. They just try and cope with, whatever they can grab, and that's like a convenient one. But it's just like, again, they were just born in a fortunate position. And if the music is good, then there's no reason to hate. And again, the music might not be good to you, but it's good to other people. Otherwise, that person wouldn't be popular. You know what I mean? Fuck, people just love to hate. People, it's hypocritical for me to say because I fucking hate Cardi B. You know what I mean? But like, whatever, man. I hate. I don't know. Whatever.
There was a rumor that Lana's father paid to kickstart her career. That was a bit of a half-truth. He did help in promoting the 5 Points record. Lana's dad was in advertising before starting his own company of buying and selling domain names. He built his wealth and had the means to support his child's ambitions. Lizzie was truly talented.
That's perfectly fine.
After all, it's not every day your daughter records a record with a producer who's worked with some legendary acts. In whatever way her father may have helped, it didn't do her much good. When signing to 5 Points,
even if
Lana
it did,
was
it's
still
not a problem.
as an artist and as a person. She had come up with the Lana Del Rey moniker at some point between her EP and the album's release. By the time she released the record, it was being marketed under 3 names, making it a bit of a messy release. And the album didn't see much attention. She probably felt discouraged and wanted to start from the ground up with the new stage persona she had finally solidified. She contacted a lawyer by the name of Ben Mawson to get her out of her label contract, and he soon took over as her management from that point forward. She wasn't hiding her past. Lana Del Rey was a fresh start for the young singer, so it's not surprising that she wanted to disregard her previous work as to not confuse future audiences. But was she forced into her image? That's debatable.
It was always the plan to just sort of create a sonic and visual world that I found to be beautiful.
She seemed to have had a vision of her music sounding cinematic and reflecting nostalgic black and white films. But when speaking with Pitchfork in 2011, she said, "I'm not trying to create an image or a persona. I'm just singing because that's what I know how to do." As for the origin of the name, she says she was spending quite some time in Miami, speaking Spanish with friends, and they landed on Lana Del Rey.
I knew that I wanted a name that sounded sort of exotic and reminded me of like the seaside on the Floridian coast, and Lana Del Rey sounded beautiful to me, and I was just I just wanted a name for the music that I could start shaping the music towards, just something beautiful.
The name was so wait, the whole thing though, the whole thing was like about how she's putting on a persona, but like again, is that supposed to be a bad thing? A lot of people have like these kind of personas or some kind of image they're trying to portray. There's nothing wrong with that. Like when Kid Cudi was first coming out, his image was the lonely stoner, you know what I mean? And he used sounds to create these outer spacey imagery, you know what I mean? Like, and then that's just how people, create their art. Art's not just gonna be this random ass thing each and every time they create something. It's going to have an overall theme, something that they want to, an overall message that they want to push or something. You know what I mean? A feeling. It doesn't always have to be a message like, always try harder. But Kid Cudi's thing was as a message, and his was, like to never give up. You know what I mean? But that's not always the case. It doesn't have to be a literal message. You could be pushing a feeling, a vibe, and that's kind of what Lana's been doing. Is pushing that vibe. And I don't like how this guy's, he's not biased. He's pretty, non-biased. I'm biased as fuck. I love Lana, but like, he's making it seem like it's a kind of a bad thing. That's the thing. He is non-biased then, because there are people out there that act like it's a bad thing. So I get where he's coming from with showing both points, both sides.
Music towards just, yeah, something.
But the people that do think
The
that
name was a
you're
blend
dumb.
inspired by legendary actress Lana Turner and LA neighborhood Del Rey, Spanish for of the king. And she thought it sounded gorgeous coming off the tip of the tongue. And it does, but Lana said something concerning in an interview from 2010. I wanted to be a band, but the label I was with and the team I had around me absolutely wanted me to be a solo artist. Lana Del Rey came from a series of managers and lawyers over the past 5 years who wanted a name that they thought would better fit the sound of the music. My music was always kind of cinematic, so they wanted a name that reflected the glamour of that sound.
Okay. Lana Del Rey came from a series of managers and lawyers over the last 5 years who wanted a name. So what this seems like, if you don't read the entire thing, it just says Lana Del Rey came from a series of managers and lawyers. It makes it sound like they came up with the name. But if you read the entire fucking, what she said, they're saying that they wanted her, the name came from them pushing her to come up with a name that sounds that fits the sound of the music. Like she said, like, so this is the controversy here, that people are saying like, oh, her managers came up with the name, but that's not the case. They pushed her to come up with a better name, and she came up with the name herself, like she said, out in Miami. There's always a kind of cinematic, so they wanted a name that reflected that. Yeah, and she came up with it. So what's the controversy here? The only thing I can see is that she wanted to be a band initially, and the label was like, no, bad solo artists. And there's no like debating that. That's just a label being a label.
As far as we know, she had just only met Moss in the year before, so it's unclear who these managers and lawyers were at the time. All this quote really tells us, though, is that her team wanted her to be a solo artist and wanted her to have a more appropriate stage name that reflected her music. It's unclear whether or not she came up with the name herself, but I'll leave that for you to decide and whether or not it truly matters.
That's true. It doesn't matter either. But she literally did explain. Okay, I already explained it.
Lana says she even changed the way she sang in order to be taken more seriously.
The way she's
I sing low
saying.
now, but my voice used to be a lot higher because of the way I looked. I needed something to ground the entire project. Otherwise, I think people would assume I was some airhead singer.
Wait, why did he say assume? He didn't say assume. He said assume. Why did he say it like that? Is that just an accent?
Around the entire project. Otherwise, I think people would assume I was some airhead singer. I've sung one way and sung another, and I've seen what people are drawn to. People were wondering if this transformation had been planned all along. Yes, it had been. When you start a business, you begin with a plan. There was a deliberate attempt to create a signature sound and image. Almost every artist ever has done this. Lizzie uses her Lana image to further her music. They're inseparable, but they are the same person. She's never strayed too far away from her roots, and she's always been in the driver's seat.
People who I've worked with know that I do exactly what I want, and that's pretty much it.
Despite her 2010 comment, her new management nor her previous label were forcing her into this Lana image. She could have dropped the act whenever she liked. Then came the Saturday Night Live performance in mid-January. That was called one of the worst outings in SNL history.
What happened here? I've heard about this, but I didn't... Wait. Spoilers? Nah, it's Blue Jeans, it sounds like.
January. That was called one of the worst outings in SNL history.
Big dreams, gangsters, said you had to leave to start your life over. I was like, no, please, stay here.
It left many to ask, can she actually sing? And yes, she can.
She can. Oh, no shit she can. No shit she can. Was that like... So, it didn't sound that bad, but there was like, stay here. That part sounded a little bit off. That wasn't Blue Jeans. Wait, was it Blue? Yeah, it was. There's a couple parts that did sound off, but there was some parts that actually sounded kind of good. It's like she was just trying to do a different version of it. But was she like making a statement? Because I remember Kurt Cobain and Nirvana, I forget what song it was, but they were performing on like an MTV thing or something, and MTV told them they can't swear or some shit, I forget, and they scuffed the song on purpose. They like, Kurt did this like voice and stuff. It was really funny, and it actually sounded kind of fucking cool. Or they wanted them to do like teen spirit or something. But is it like that, or is it just what's the context behind that performance?
What you do.
And yes, she can.
Obviously, she can sing.
What you do, and I don't know how you get over someone as dangerous, tainted, and flawed as you.
It's safe to say Lana's SNL performance wasn't her greatest, but it wasn't nearly as bad
I
as
want
it
to
was
watch
made out
that.
to be. I mean, we've seen worse performances on the late night show. This was Lana Del Rey's American television debut. She's a performer who admittedly has a bad case of stage fright, and going from playing small clubs to a television audience of 8 million in just months, can you blame her for being a little nervous?
That's possible.
Perhaps she wasn't ready for the big time.
That's
But 2
actually
weeks
really
later,
possible.
Born to Die was released, and as if unscathed by the harsh reviews and the controversies of the last 6 months, it debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200 and number 1 on the UK albums chart. Lana's rise only continued with more television appearances, music videos, and brand deals. While most female pop artists were preaching of empowerment, a counter voice was bound to emerge. A woman fixated on themes of wealth,
Money is the reason we exist. Everybody knows it, it's a fact.
Kiss,
self-destruction,
But I wish
kiss. I was dead.
and hopeless romanticism.
Wait, this. That's not. Is that Blue Jeans? Wait, that's Blue Jeans. Yeah.
But how much of what she talks about in her music is fact?
I might be
Is Lana Del Rey authentic?
missing.
I don't think we're
on
meant to
that one.
interpret her lyrics literally. The things that happen in Lana's music could be true, exaggerated, or completely false. But the notion of her inauthenticity stems from the fact that she never seems to break this character, as outlandish as some of it may sound.
When it comes to my own music, it's 100% autobiographical.
Lana Del Rey only reminded us that
Really?
authenticity is an illusion. The music we listen to, for the most part, is manufactured. It only balances sincerity and fiction in just the right ratios. Being a popular musician is inherently ridiculous and theatrical, and not every artist is inherently ridiculous and theatrical. Artists often create personas and sing about things in the first person that didn't actually happen. Lana Del Rey is no different than Beyonce, Gaga, Frank Ocean, Madonna, Bowie, Dylan, any other.
Lana Del Rey is greater than all those people he named. Yes, even Beyonce. Yes, even
Lana
Beyonce.
Del Rey is no
I
different
said
than
it.
Beyonce,
Cry
Gaga,
about it.
Frank
I said
Ocean,
it.
Madonna, Bowie, Dylan,
Frank Ocean.
any other music.
Frank Ocean is one guy that I never really like. There's a lot of hype around Frank Ocean, and I checked out one of his albums. I forget which was it. Channel Orange. And I don't know. It was the other one with the white cover and the square and the picture of him in the middle. And there was like a handful of songs that I liked, but the majority of it I didn't really like. And I was like, am I missing something here? Because like there's a lot of hype around Frank Ocean, and a lot of people love him. And I like the stuff that I liked, like Swim Good was fire, and I forget the other one. So like I like some songs, but there's a lot of songs that I thought were like really overrated. But yeah, I don't know. I liked him on the song Oldie back in the day when Odd Future. They did that song called Oldie. It's like 10 minutes long, and each of them have like their own little verse. And Frank Ocean had a nice like rapped verse on it, and it was so fucking cool. That shit was sick. But yeah, I don't know. His singing to me was never like really like spectacular. He has a really nice voice, but his singing was just that's not for me. I guess I don't know.
Del Rey is no different than Beyonce, Gaga, Frank Ocean, Madonna, Bowie, Dylan, any other musical act. They play the part presenting themselves as something for you to enjoy. How certain are you
Down on
that
the
everything
West
you're listening to
Coast.
is 100% genuine?
You
There's
got the
not really a
music.
measure for how authentic
Got the
music is, and
in
I'm
you.
sure we all get tricked more than we care to admit. Born to Die went platinum. Lana Del Rey wrote Young and Beautiful for 2013's The Great Gatsby,
That's
and then the chart-topping remix of Summertime Sadness suitably closed out the summer.
summertime.
Her widely
Summertime.
praised follow-up Ultraviolence saw her record her vocals in live single takes without any additional editing. It also fleshed out the details
Really?
of her persona, breathing life into the character and framing her as a female who's aware of the tragedies she finds herself in.
I had no
When
idea.
Lizzie
There's-
Grant released her music, it failed. She reinvented herself as Lana Del Rey, and it worked. Lana was a more calculated character. She looked different, but the songs were
Dude, even if she isn't this like this character that she portrays, does it matter? Like what y'all said, like she dated like some gamer dudes, you know what I mean? Like some dude that played League of Legends or some World of Warcraft or something. Or maybe I saw it like an interview or something, one of the videos I reacted to. Like what if she's like actually like this nerdy gamer girl that just I don't know, can really sing but just is always playing games 24/7. That would be wild. That if that like was her true identity, that'd be fucking wild. No one would have saw that coming. But I literally can't picture her being like that. But that'd be funny, you know what I mean? If this was actually just like a whole character, like obviously it's like a persona, but you know what I
We're
mean?
about the same. Regardless
That'd
of
be
the moniker
wild.
she decided to embody, who her father is, or whether it solely existed to make money, Video Games was a unique and emotionally moving song. Had it been a bad one, no one would have cared to notice. After 7 years and 4 albums, her art has spoken for itself. Lana Del Rey has pumped out increasingly better music, and her upcoming release is getting anticipation from publications that once rolled her eyes at her. So, what are we to believe? Well, that nothing
It's
is truly
subjective.
authentic. Just enjoy
Yeah,
what you
it's
enjoy
art.
and find out why after the fact.
I mean, that
Or
doesn't
don't at
matter why, but yeah, don't at all. Good, well said, man.
If you're
Well
looking
said.
to fabricate your own musical
Well said.
persona, I can't help you. But
Okay, good video, man. Good video, man. Fuck it, I'll let it play.
this
Fuck.
week's sponsor, Skillshare, might be able to get you started. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with
Oh,
over
wow,
25,000
Skillshare.
classes
Wow.
on things ranging from music production to graphic design.
Oh, that's
photography,
cool.
Animation. They have courses
I
on
already
pretty
have
much
I already have 10 accounts. I have 10 accounts. I bought it. I got everything. Skillshare. Yeah, go do a Skillshare. Yeah, Skillshare, man. I bought it all. All right. My money's in Skillshare. I invested in Skillshare. Skyrocketing, guaranteed Skillshares. WWW. I win. Big W's. If you buy Skillshare, dope video, man. Dope video, man. That's like a kind of like a little bit like a biography kind of, right? Kinda. Just some insight on her history. True. I never knew she had so much hate. Me neither. I didn't realize. That's why I'm surprised. I don't know why people are so annoyed by her creating a stage name. Yeah, no shit. Like what? Imagine documentary of a dead somebody who was alive about 50 years ago. Or thousands of years. True. Damn. Okay. Yeah, that was a sick video, man. I enjoyed that. Lana Del Rey. Keep her delete. Keep, because she's the best. I love her. I got nothing else to say. Dope video, man. It was interesting.